Dysfunctional families have a kind of endless lore. If you're part of one, you'll resonate with what I mean. There's no end to what we might find out from distant family people that we might run into over a lifetime. Because in dysfunctional families, what's pretty universal, not completely, but pretty, is really poor communication, really poor transparency, lots of control issues, even controlling of the narrative of the family. And all of that is wonky within dysfunction. And so one of the stories that I've heard, even though I've been no contact for a very long time, almost 2 decades with my mother, I've heard the story of what happened the very day within my family when I was 23 and I pressed charges against my adoptive dad for the sexual abuse that he perpetrated against me. And yes, I tried to get his other victims to jump on pressing charges with me. I think the first big court thing, whatever it was, I don't remember now, my family wanted me to go to dinner with them. They were really trying hard as I was trying to walk out of the courthouse to have this big scene of like, let's come together. And I just needed to get out of there. I needed to breathe. I needed some space. So I left with a boyfriend and I avoided the big old Catholic family scene that was coming after court. I was exhausted and zonked. So this distant relative went to the family piece of this at my mother's home. And she said to me that there were at least 20 people, maybe even as close to 30. I have a big old family. And they came together. But not one word was spoken about what was going on, about maybe what needed to happen or help that needed to be found or gotten or resources or living arrangements. There was absolutely not one word spoken. And I remember her telling me this, and I've done a lot of healing. If she'd have told me this, a couple years after, I would have had a different reaction, but from a place of groundedness, of peace, of nervous system integration. I heard this and honestly kind of chuckled because it was just another validation. Now, my family would tell you that's how they dealt with it. They came together. I'm here to say that families can be in a group kind of denial. They can decide in a way that is bizarrely, almost spookily unspoken that something's been dealt with, when there is a mountain to unearth beneath that rug, where the surface doesn't even get to begin to be scratched. If we want a healthy family system in the family that we're building, in the chosen family, in our friendships, we want to understand how important it is to deal with the truth of things now as they come, or they pile up. They get swept under that rug until everyone in a family system is tripping over it. But in that same nature of the families that will cram stuff under the rug, who will ignore that elephant in the living room, the nature of this is to not really deal. And so these systems don't deal very well with people tripping over the rug, even as they're tripping over these family struggles. Instead of going, wow, we really need to get this elephant out of this living room. Or this rug is just a disaster area. We have got to get this smooth again so that none of us are tripping. Instead, what we hear is, oh my goodness, what's wrong with these shoes? Or I must be dizzy today. I've really got to eat something. Instead of there's an elephant in the living room and it's been taking shits for decades and we really need to clean this up and utilize a better system. So you get to decide in your life as a single person and as you relate to other people. Are you going to be somebody that deals or denies? That pretends that elephant isn't there? Or just walks in and simply, there's simplicity again, y'all, goes, oh no, I am not trying to live with this elephant in the living room. You have this power. You really, really do. Remember to find Emotional Badass wherever you get your podcasts.